Yeah, I caffeinated, so
Okay, yeah, I can see chat. Good. Hello,
perfect.
hello, everyone. We're back.
Snapping one, two. How are you, Eurovision fam? What's
Yes,
going on, guys?
it's been a.
We're back from the summer.
Oh my gosh, it was a long summer.
Uh-huh.
Way more.
All I wanted to do was get back and talking to you guys about the new updates with Eurovision.
Oh my gosh, like I mean, a lot of stuff happened to kick
Hmm.
off the boat with that. It was an active
Yeah.
summer for Eurovision season. Let's not lie. Um, yeah. So,
A
how,
lot of surprise announcements, a lot of stuff that we weren't really anticipating, but altogether, it sounds like we're still in for a really good show come this May.
yep.
Uh, at first, it looks like we are just going to be wrapping up our sentiments from last season, our inaugural season at Eurovision Fam, where we managed to listen to all of these songs and then have like our first team ranking from them. That was cool. I'm so glad that we managed to do our first season successfully, but with that in mind, these are so there are a couple songs that coming from last season that we still tend to listen to, and we're going to be talking about that in just a bit.
Yep. So yeah, we're gonna be talking about songs we still listen to from last year. We're gonna be talking
Hmm.
about kind of some of the surprises that came out of last season as well.
Hmm.
More entries into the Eurovision family of contests, and we're looking forward to 2023 and also Junior Eurovision this year too. Well, in December we'll have Junior. So let's go
Hmm.
ahead and kick it off with the first thing, which is Eurovision Latin America was announced, kind of like at the tail end of the Eurovision Song Contest itself. I don't know if we touched on it. We may have done it briefly. Do you want to just talk about it real quick?
Yeah, sure. So, I actually don't remember talking about Eurovision Latin America, but had been announced as of these last couple months. I think right after when we had our last stream, that Eurovision Latin America is going to be in the works. I believe within the next year or 2 years. Was it? It's supposed to be relatively soon, and it's really hard to picture how this is going to go because
Yeah.
we have shows like the Eurovision Song Contest, which is kind of like the staple from which we understand how shows in this format can function.
Mm-hmm.
We have the Junior Eurovision Song Contest, which is like a very stripped back diet version in terms of how it's structured. We also have an unstructured version of this type of contest called the American Song Contest, which could be everywhere and completely sloppy, as this first season of that show was. What can we even expect from Latin America? All I'm thinking is just the sheer amount of music diversity we have the potential of receiving. Like that is going to be so sacred, and I just have a feeling that in that asset alone, this is going to be an amazing show.
Oh yeah, and like I know, we have correspondents who live in Latin America. One of them
Mm-hmm.
is Augusto, and he wrote an
Hi,
article.
Augusto.
He wrote an article that we have up on the site, kind of discussing Latin
Mm-hmm.
America. Like he's in the Dominican Republic. I mean, I know we've got people on the team from like Chile, from Peru. Do we have someone from
Mm-hmm.
Chile now, and someone from Puerto Rico too?
I think Puerto Rico, yeah, and like Chile, I'm not quite sure. We haven't
Um,
had our team meeting yet to
yeah,
fully deduce like who's from where. But point is, a lot of the states that from which we have nationalities are going to be competing in the Latin American Song Contest, which
yeah,
is so freaking exciting.
yeah. So it's like it's pretty. Yeah, I mean, and I'm thinking about just like the folk music from like Latin
Hmm.
America. I love it to
Oh,
pieces. Beyond just the
I
folk
really
music,
hope that's how Mexico debuts because I have a special place in my heart for Mexican folk music.
it's so good. Like
Hmm.
I love watching Mexican folk dancers too. It's like
Yeah.
I love that stuff. We have that. We have I don't know like what countries are considered part of Latin America. Is it
And
just
I like are we going to be separating the US from Puerto Rico in that regard? Are
I
we going to have it
yeah.
like only completely sovereign states? I'll be honest, I'm not super literate on what's going to happen with the contest, but it does promise a lot just by name alone.
Yeah, because it's like I don't know, like because in my head I think Latin America. I think of basically I don't know, like I think of anywhere south of like the U.S. Really, kind of ties into that. And I think
Generally,
they
yeah.
mentioned, I don't know, like getting the Caribbean in on it, like that would be great to have. Just even if
Hmm.
not considered a part of Latin America, it'd just be nice to have them. So yeah, that's one of the
Oh,
ones.
absolutely, yeah.
The Canadians are doing a contest next year too. It's gonna be jam packed. 2023 is gonna be intense. 2020.
Eurovision's in fashion around the world. I'm surprised that Asia hasn't like had their resurgence of wanting to do a contest like this.
I was like I think I was the fifth person to subscribe to the Eurovision Asia YouTube channel when it came out, and we're just like, nothing's
I
happened
miss
within
them.
like
It
4
was so
years.
exciting. Remember when that was like the news and everyone was like, "Holy bananas!" Like,
And everyone who doesn't know
but
anything was like, "Oh, Korea's gonna dominate." It's like, have you not heard Filipinos sing? Like,
see, I was waiting to surprise everyone with that. I was waiting to surprise everyone because jury winners. Sorry.
no, yeah. I mean, let's look at what Australia's brought the last 3 years. Like
Australia alone.
2020, 2021, 2022, all Filipino. Austria, 2020, 2021, Filipino. Just like, yeah,
Uh-huh.
no.
I mean, we're coming to the contest in full force. I have no doubt that we're going to see more Filipinos down the road. I just, I'll keep that last opinion to myself because that hasn't happened yet. So,
It'll happen one day. I think I know what you're going to say. So, yeah, we have that spinoff coming.
yeah.
Another thing that kind of happened over the summer that was a little more surprising was what song dominated, like, the
Oh,
after
yeah.
the contest charts. And that goes to Rosalind from Armenia. Like, just completely crushed it on digital streaming and elsewhere as well.
Hmm. I think it's so interesting how so as of like the last since like 2019, a lot of the charting songs I've noticed following the grand final of the contest tended to be ones that could perform well on TikTok. Could be, and I think it's partly because these are songs that it's easy to like duet or it's easy to like work off of a template. But either way, it looks like TikTok is a major driving vehicle for allowing these songs to prosper after the fact. And we have Rosalind now as a case example of this happening because nobody was really. I remember when the sample of Snap first came out last
Yeah,
year. Remember that? When the sample
yeah,
came out and everyone was just like, huh? But nowadays, it's so like people can recognize it by name, and more people than who have ever heard the songs from this last
yeah.
contest. That's an incredible power, and it's something that we can only see after after a song becomes popular, like with this method. So,
Yeah.
congratulations, Rosalind! Like, completely blew me away.
And like I was looking just at the numbers, and like on Spotify, she has 173 million streams, more than that. Monthly listeners is
Oh.
23 million. On TikTok, you mentioned TikTok, we're seeing over a million, like
Mm-hmm.
1.2 million videos used, some variation of Snap. So that's definitely the song that
Yep.
really dominated. It's charted digitally in 9 countries. And it's in the
Mm-hmm.
top. It was in the top 100 on Billboard for a little bit there, which I mean, we're Americans, so we're gonna be a little selfish and talk about Billboard, but it's
Mm-hmm.
hard to get on the Billboard chart if you're not from the U.S. or the U.K.
Uh huh. Especially like with a country, this is gonna sound terrible, but with a country like Armenia, whose artists don't typically make it to Billboard or really just the American charts in general, we just aren't open minded
Yeah,
like that. But this was a first. This was like quite an epic first for Rosalind.
yeah. It's one of those things where there's like Malaysia, Indonesia. We're seeing that song chart, on Spotify and things.
Hmm.
So it's definitely got a broad appeal, and it's one of those ones that going into the contest. I don't know. I think we were both kind of a little worried about it qualifying, especially on first listen.
We had our moments, yeah.
Yeah, but then it grows on you. It's definitely one of the ones that I would say is a grower.
Hmm. I mean, the second I hear like it's 4 a.m., the next 3 minutes I'm
Yeah,
spending singing the entire song. Like there are some songs that are just powerful just based on how catchy and easy to grasp they are. And also, I think this song is popular in Asia because this is a very ukuleleable song.
oh my
Remember,
gosh.
I said that.
Yeah,
Remember, I said that.
I know. if we ever get the Eurovision or the Asian Eurovision contest, I know we're gonna see some ukuleles.
Oh, the
It's gonna
Philippines are
be
going to be the
happening.
first to do it. The Philippines will be the first to do it.
Bring
And
up that
I'm just putting that out there now.
yeah. So that's kind of what happened with Rosalind and her
Yep.
seeing charting there from Armenia.
Mm-hmm.
And let's talk about another surprise pop up that happened over the summer, which was
Oh my goodness.
on
Our
America's
girl.
yeah, I know. On America's
Our
Got Talent,
girl.
Sarah James was on there. She got the golden buzzer from Simon Cowell, and
Simon was waiting for her. Sorry.
made the final. Didn't win,
Uh-huh.
didn't like come on the podium, but she was there, and yeah,
And if anyone's unfamiliar with the process of the America's Got Talent, I almost called it the American Song Contest.
yeah,
But the way the golden buzzer functions is one of the judges on the three, or I believe it's four judges panel,
yeah,
can basically press this button to allow whatever contestant is currently performing directly through to the final. It's basically like DTF in Melfest. How it's just like, yes, we're deciding that you can make it through, and we're not going to be putting up with like any more of the hurdles for you to get to the final. She was given that opportunity by Simon Cowell, and that is just how often can you say that someone we watched grow up was given like such a great accolade by such like a harsh music critic? You know,
yeah, yeah,
I'm so proud of her.
yeah. It's one of those things. Like, this is the second JESC artist we've seen on the show.
Hmm.
I know with I think the singer from Kazakhstan in 2018.
Yeah,
Her name,
Danelia, who was also my girl.
oh yes, fantastic voice. Just like, yeah, great Danielia, and like this second time we've seen someone from JESC go. But Sarah's gone further. Do you have any other things you want to kind of say about that?
Um, I think like my only sentiment is it's really a shame that the United States isn't the kind of place who would highlight these singers for their past achievements. So like Danelia got sixth place in Junior Eurovision in her year, which is amazing, but that was never alluded to, just like how Sarah James got second place in her respective year. That was not alluded to. I maybe generally in the future I would like to see some kind of recognition of what they had already accomplished, but America loves a small town story. You
Yeah,
know, they
exactly.
love demure. They love people who are producing this image of I'm doing this kind of thing for the first time. It's kind of like Glennis Grace when she came to an American contest. But yeah, that is literally my last opinion on that. I hope to see a lot more Eurovision associated acts in American shows because it's helping us out a lot.
Yeah, my thing is also I feel like there's somebody. What channel does that? It comes on NBC.
NBC, yeah.
Okay, so that's the same channel that broadcasts the American Song Contest.
Hmm.
So is it me? Like, there's somebody working there who's like, going like, oh, we need to snag this person to come and be like basically a plant. It's like, I know how these casting things go, and I just don't know if
Hmm.
we can start to expect to see it more often. We're going to be seeing
CC
people.
Christopher Bjorkman, yeah.
CC Christopher. I mean, it could be, but I don't like. I'm not speculating or anything. But there's somebody there who's like gonna be pulling it. And like the only time I can ever remember any one of these shows mentioning somebody was in Junior was Britain's Got Talent when Destiny was on. Like they mentioned she
Oh,
won Junior, but that was like a few years ago, and that's the UK. So they're gonna
and
be
that was
more
that
so.
was the UK.
And like when it comes
Uh-huh.
to like people like Sarah James, I think she won the Voice Poland, like the Voice Poland kids.
Yeah.
So
Uh-huh.
like they don't want to be like, oh, hey, here's this person who's already won in another country. They want to kind of be like,
Hmm.
oh, she's traveling here with her, you know what I mean? Like traveling and like I just read the comments on these videos because like I cannot stand listening to cover songs of I can't do it. I can't
Yeah.
do cover songs. And so like I was just kind of like reading the comments. I'm like, you could tell people are like, oh, I know who this is, and people are like, oh, look, it's like she's like, yeah. You can tell people who know and people who don't know, and like
Hmm.
it's like yeah, this is the way this is cast. They were going, oh, let's go ahead and reach out to her and see if she wants to come over.
Uh-huh. And like when she auditioned, they made her appear as just like a Polish schoolgirl, you know? Like it
Yeah,
was just it was weird seeing her outside of her immediate element of being with, because in the Junior Eurovision sphere there was a lot of hype surrounding her, there was a lot of press, and she was
Yeah.
talking to the press a lot. When she came to the American show, it it kind of gave the perspective like she had never done this kind of a thing before. That was at least what I received, which was odd,
Yeah.
but she still got the golden buzzer, so I'm still happy for her, and she's gonna have an amazing career after this. Like, let's just face it.
Oh, I mean, I was saying that when she was participating in Junior, I was like, this girl's gonna be global.
She's going to be, yeah.
One day. So that's kind of our happy things that happened over the summer. I
Hmm.
just want to kind of touch on something that was a little more on the sadder side, which is we did lose a Eurovision legend in August. Olivia Newton-John passed away, and
Hmm.
she competed in Eurovision in 1974 and came fourth, which 1974 is a stacked year. If you've never gone
Yeah.
back and watched that contest, do it. Like, it's a great year. I mean,
It's one of the most gratifying years to watch as a Euro fan because I feel like it's one of the most like I don't know the word I'm looking for, but it's one of the most like important years that you should go back and watch. It is one of the gems of Eurovision history.
yes, yeah, that was like, if you need a refresher, that was the year Waterloo happened. Like,
Hmm.
so we just kind of wanted to touch on, because I really wish Eurovision did like an in memoriam thing. Like,
Yeah.
it would be like, just make it like the Oscars in the final, toss it in there.
I feel like the United Kingdom this year could possibly do an in memoriam for Olivia since we're going to be in the country and I don't know, they might need to fill in space at some point, but either way, I feel like she deserves the testament
I mean,
because Olivia Newton-John is a huge part of performance culture
yeah. I
for
mean,
the entire English-speaking world.
yeah, and also she's not the only person who competed in Eurovision. She's not the only person who's competed in the contest who passed away this year. The contest has been around
Mm,
for 60 plus years. You're going to have more people dying, like more people going,
yeah.
going ahead and passing away, and it would just be nice because I think having that as a featurette every year, like just a brief in memoriam, would be good.
Hmm.
I mean, they did it very, very shortly in 2018 when Leticia passed,
Hmm.
but like it would be just something that I would say make it an ongoing thing.
Yeah, because I mean, this is our culture. This is Eurovision culture. These are people who managed to change the trajectory of the contest, of the show that we currently still watch. Like, these are very important people to our experience, so it would be really good if they had that.
Exactly. So like that's that as well. That's everything as far as what happened over the summer goes.
Hmm.
Oh, we didn't talk about like just generally speaking. It's September now. It's
Hmm.
been how many years? How many years? How many months? It's been like what? 5 months? 4 or 5 months? 4 months?
May I want to say 4 or 5, yeah.
4.5 months
Hmm.
since Eurovision has ended or ended. So
Uh-huh.
what songs are you still listening to?
So the songs I'm still listening to, I am actually still listening to a couple of them. So I'm just going to go ahead and list them all. So the ones I'm listening to still are Ella, Secret, Guilty Pleasure, Disco,
Oh,
Medha Kandi Soul,
I'm sorry.
Snap. This no, I saw that on your list. Trust me, trust me.
You know me.
No, I do know you, but you're actually the reason why I'm still listening to Disco.
It's good. It's good.
Hmm.
That's been
Well, I
a,
also have Medha Kandi Soul, Snap, Sentimentai, The Deepte, Saudade Saudade, Brividi, Hold Me Closer, Slow Mo, and Stefania. So I'm still listening pretty solidly
uh-huh.
in this year, you guys, which
Yeah.
is different because even last year, which I objectively think is a better year, 2021, I don't listen to those songs as often as I do following this contest. For some reason, I'm listening to these songs a lot more after the fact.
Yeah, I mean, like for me, I think my list is a little shorter than yours. Like disco,
Hmm.
100%. Sentimentai, you can
Hmm.
try that song from my cold dead hands. I'm keeping it. Like you can take it from me when I'm dead. Um, Stripper, I'm still listening to, of course, because I'm kind of in my rock phase still. Yeah,
Hmm.
Saudade Saudade is just so gorgeous. Like that's when you just put it on and you just like vibe to it. And of course, I think I already said Methacandi Soul. Like I'm like more of that please. And Sister does have a new song that came out today. I haven't listened to it yet.
Yeah, and I'm going to listen to it too because, like, let's face it, Iceland has no shortage of musical talent, especially Sister.
Yeah, I don't know what's
I want to see them in concert.
It's like Iceland is in like their family phase right now. They've been in their family phase since what 2019, and like
and it's lit.
It's working.
And it's lit.
They went how long without
it's
qualifying?
Fun for everyone.
They went how long without qualifying, and then like 2019 happened. You've got cousins and a husband and wife, and then you've got what was it, Daffy and Gagna Magnith, and that's a husband and wife,
that's
siblings,
family and friends, yeah,
family and friends, and Sister, which is self-explanatory. Honestly, just keep up with the family acts. I think that might be a good move for you. Also, Hatari.
The Icelandic music industry, who thought? Yes, Hatari. Where have they been?
They have a new song that came out, I think, 2 weeks ago. It's good.
Really?
Yeah, it's good.
Ooh.
Put that in your list to listen to. It's fantastic.
I'm gonna cue them up.
Yeah.
Yep, Hatari, I'm on the way.
Yeah, that's who we are talking about. Like, oh, Iceland. Hey, look at all this new stuff from Iceland, guys. And I think another one that you mentioned, that you didn't mention, was Spaceman. There's just something about Spaceman that really when it first came out, I was like, okay, I'm not sure about this. But then, like, I'm like, no, this song is great. And, like...
Sam. All it took was Sam.
Sam was fantastic. He's great live. And the music that he's released since Eurovision has also been great. Like, he has his own song he came out with, and I think he did, like, another one that he's a feature on. And, like, they're both...
And he's doing, like, YouTube ads now, too. So.
I know, it's like, what? But yeah, no.
That's a pretty quick, easy check for him. Good job, Sam. Like, you broke the UK curse. That's the most important thing that's happened.
And let's talk about the UK again.
Let's talk about the UK.
We're kind of moving into 2023 territory. We know the UK is hosting. We don't have the host city yet.
Nope.
But before we talk about the host city, let's just talk about what they're going to be doing to choose the artist. They're going to stick with tap, which if something's not broke, don't fix it. Yeah. Tap did what it needed to do. And I think that the UK is on a good trajectory. What do you think?
I think they're on a good trajectory, but I also have one kind of important thought about this.
Okay.
So, Tap, as we found out, can produce an amazing act for Eurovision. Like Spaceman was exceptional for Eurovision standards in general, which I never thought I would say for a UK act in the recent future. But now that we have all of this momentum in the United Kingdom, I really, really, really hope they take this momentum and... Okay, so you remember how 97, Katrina and the Waves, following that was Imani. So Katrina did really well. I think following Spaceman, we can have a modern R&B act from the UK who can do similarly well. Because think about this. We have Georgia Smith, we have NAO, we have Ella May, we have a number of UK R&B acts that could be just like the perfect layup, in my opinion, to the kind of anthemic rock, high energy vocal sound of Sam. I feel like that could be a good contrast, and not to mention R&B is so good from the UK in this day and age, in the last year or so.
Honestly, the R&B and soul, the UK, I don't know what is in their water, but the way they do R&B and soul works for me. It really, truly
it's excellent. Yeah.
And they've been able to pull that off they were holding down the genre for me personally for a hot minute. It's not just been recently. I was in Alicia Michelle, who's our founder. She had a live stream today. I was kind of in the stream chatting with people, and somebody said like they would love to see like some hip hop or like trip hop or something like that. For some reason in my head, I thought drum and bass. How great would it be to have like a throwback kind of 90s-esque drum and bass song from the UK? Or even some house
music. That could do so well. That could do so well.
Like, the house revival is real. It is here. It is real. Thank you, Beyonce. I'm not going to acknowledge the other person who thought he was doing house but didn't do it.
We can have a different stream just to talk about Renaissance, honestly. Just a whole stream on its own.
Just real quick sidebar. I'm not a huge Beyonce fan anymore, but that album brought me back. It brought me back to her, and I was like, oh,
Oh, okay,
what have I
okay.
been doing for so
That's fair.
long?
That is
It's
fair.
just like I wasn't. Yeah, no, but it's such a great
But
album, and
and
like,
house, like you're right. Like
yeah,
the just the power that UK house has, and if that ends up being the host entry this year, like Eurovision is a big party.
yeah,
It's just a big party, and if the host entry is something like significant to the flavor of what they're able to produce, that I'm just looking forward to that.
yeah. The other thing though is also like Imani was kind of a dancey song. It was like that
Hmm.
'90s kind of late '90s dance sound to it, and that came second. I don't know.
Yeah.
For some reason, I'm just like I'm thinking about how great like a drum and bass or like housey kind of dance number would be from the
Hmm.
UK, and I would love to see it. Like that's kind of what
Yeah,
I would like
and
to see the most. I think.
you don't need like a big, exceptionally like complicated high note like Sam. I mean, thankfully we had that. Thankfully we have a UK performance that provided that. But you can also do something that's just focuses on the dance, focuses on the good time, and still produce a result like Imani.
How good would that
Like
be?
we have the material. We have the material. I really hope they work with it, and don't just go for pop, for example. You know?
And hey, I'd be okay with some pop too. I just like I feel like what I want to see the UK continue on this trajectory. If the
Me
2020s can
too.
be for the UK like the 1990s were, fantastic. Like,
Hmm.
and with Sam
They
doing
just have so much potential.
with Sam doing so well, I think that's gonna make a lot of British artists who may have been scared go through with it. You know, they're gonna have more
Yes,
people who
21
are willing.
Savage.
Sir 21. I'm sorry. I'm just thinking about the jokes when he got deported. I shouldn't make jokes about when somebody got deported, but oh, it was a fun day on Black Twitter.
Sorry I even brought that up. I'm sorry. I just imagine him holding the flag, but anyway.
I'm sorry. Oh goodness, no.
But hey, I mean, like, rap is a part of the UK music scene too. It is.
Oh yeah, like be some grime.
Yeah.
Like it's just
Hmm.
or grime. Sorry, miss. Add an S at the end on accident there. And yeah, like I just think that I would like to see something from the UK that only the UK could give us.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
And with Tap, they know what they're doing. So keep it up.
Hmm.
Okay, now
Keep
let's
it up.
talk
I look
about.
forward to it.
Let's go ahead and let's talk about potential host cities then, I guess. So,
All
you want to
right.
go ahead and list off who's on the short list?
Yeah, so on the short list for the Eurovision host city for 2023, we have Birmingham, Glasgow, Leeds, Liverpool, Manchester, Newcastle, and Sheffield.
Okay. Yeah, we're gonna. I'm gonna. Don't come for us in the way we pronounce things, because I can't help but pronounce like Birmingham, Birmingham. I'm not calling it Birmingham, or whatever. However it's pronounced. However
Well, I mean,
it's
don't
pronounced
you
in the
have a
UK.
Birmingham out there?
Huh?
Isn't it pronounced Birmingham out where you're at?
No, no, no. In Alabama, it is Birmingham.
It's just the Alabama one, is it?
I don't know if we have one near me.
Okay, never mind. Never mind.
I don't keep
But
track. We have a Manchester.
we in California we have no town named any of these.
Okay, yeah, we have a Manchester here.
Manchester.
Yeah. But yeah, those are our cities.
Hmm.
Who like I'm just curious. Who do you think is gonna get it? Like, if you had a guess, gut instinct.
Who do we think is gonna get it?
Who do you think?
I'm gonna decide not to just answer that question. So I just have this sinking feeling that Birmingham is gonna get it. I just have a feeling. I really want Glasgow though. I really want Glasgow
I feel
because Scotland. I really like. I know the likelihood of any of that happening isn't like super high, but come on, it's Scotland.
see my guts. For me, I'm thinking Glasgow too. Like I have a feeling it might be them. I mean,
I
there's
hope.
nothing wrong with Birmingham. Um, isn't that who's from Birmingham? Trying to think of
I
musicians.
just know that we've hosted the contest before, so it is a city
Yeah.
where Eurovision has already been. Glasgow does not have that privilege, and not to mention Glasgow, I personally think has um, quite a lot more cultural heritage, or at least from what I was able to look at.
Well, like I mean, And the location for the Glasgow contest would be the same arena where they had hosted Eurovision for the Eurovision movie. Hit the mic on accident.
Yeah.
So how
Will
doesn't
Ferrell
make
was
sense.
right. It was weird, but Will Ferrell like was on the nose. Like Iceland doing so well on top of like Eurovision going to Scotland, all within like 2 years of him putting that movie out.
Only for the
He's like
memes.
a seer of some kind. He's like a seer.
Oh man, now who? Because we're doing it for the memes at that point. So who would win, Iceland for the memes or Moldova for the memes?
I almost want Moldova to win just from the sheer amount of chaos that will
It
ensue in
would
the
be
stadium.
absolutely amazing if that happened. I'm thinking like, well, I mean, and musicians from Birmingham, isn't that like the Northern Soul scene started, or am I making that up in my head?
Ah, I've never heard anything in that regard. I'm actually not so familiar with musicians from Birmingham at all.
I know Ozzy Osbourne is from Birmingham.
Is he?
Yeah, like my mom was
Huh.
a huge Black Sabbath fan. Like, so when I was growing
Okay.
up, I heard a lot of his voice when I was growing up.
I see. I
Just from
see.
that. Oh yeah, it's fun. And your mother listens to nothing but heavy metal, and you're a kid. You just doesn't phase you anymore. I just am curious. Where is Northern Soul from? But like Liverpool, we can all go. Okay, everyone knows
hmm
four people from
Everyone's
Liverpool.
familiar with. Everyone's familiar with Liverpool.
Honestly though, Liverpool has a lot of good vintage shopping. So if you're somebody who's looking to travel and you want to do some like good thrifting, I've heard good things about Liverpool thrift stores
I like
and
thrifting.
antique
Oh,
shops.
Liverpool.
I've also heard good things about
hmm
Glasgow's thrift stores too.
Oh, then move out of the way, Liverpool.
I mean, both of them. I know Manchester. Manchester's another one I can think of who's likely. Just because like the BBC, I think they moved their headquarters to Manchester.
hmm Manchester's a
Um,
very capable city for performances. I know that because a lot of acts from around the world tour in Manchester. I see that. I see a Manchester date typically just with big acts from like South Korea, the U.S. Manchester's just a place to perform.
yeah, like Manchester. What else is there? There's also I think a lot of TV shows film in Manchester.
Yeah, yeah,
Like you
yeah.
know how like in the U.S. a lot of shows film in like Chicago, or like if they
hmm
do like a live broadcast, it tends to be Chicago. I think Manchester's kind of like that for the United Kingdom.
For a show behind the show organizing standpoint, that could be very good.
Yeah. No, because I'm bothered because I'm trying to figure out. Oh no, it looks like Manchester is kind of where Northern Soul. Okay, I take back anything mean I said about Manchester because that's like my niche genre, Northern
hmm
Soul music. It's basically like the UK's version of soul records from like like the 50s and 60s, like what they took and did with it. It's really interesting scene. Like they have a whole like series
Ooh.
of dancing and stuff, and it's like obscure like albums from the US. It's really interesting. But yeah, I do
Okay,
enjoy like
go off, Manchester.
yeah. So that's who haven't we talked about? We haven't really talked about Newcastle.
Nothing comes to mind.
The accent is all I can think of with Newcastle. It's a very distinct accent. Um, it's all like
I feel like I feel like I mean Milk. What's it called? Newcastle is giving really Mill Street vibes, if that makes sense.
yeah, Well, no, it doesn't because it's actually a place that people live. I know one person from Newcastle. I feel like yes, but that one person also told me that KFC had spicy gravy. So, I yeah,
What? What?
she knows who she is. Uh, we haven't talked about Leeds. What's another
Leeds.
option?
Leeds is pretty cool. I have a friend who I follow from Leeds, and it seems like it could be a pretty interesting city.
Like a good visit.
I would visit. I just don't know a ton about it, and I don't know about its capacity to support an event like Eurovision. You know?
I really, yeah, like for me, I think it's like a really the Sheffield, which everything I can think about Sheffield is not good. I don't mean that to be like insulting towards the city. Like just when I think of Sheffield, like my cultural touchstones are like bad things. um,
Mhm. We're here to be honest about our experiences with these cultural touchstones, you guys.
and like
Here to be honest about that.
I would love to have my like I would love Sheffield, go ahead and get it. But yeah, like I think at this point it's really down to like Manchester or Glasgow. Like just those two feel
Hmm.
like the most likely options. Um,
Hmm.
for us.
I saw Sam Ryder saying that no matter, or it might have been like this might not be his complete point, but given that the UK is hosting this year, whatever city they pick, as long as they still are able to showcase that this is a Ukrainian victory,
Yeah.
then it really wouldn't matter. Or at least I agree with that sentiment and this opinion that no matter what city it essentially is, we need to be very mindful of the fact that this was a Ukrainian win from last year, and I hope they're able to showcase that culture.
Like for me, I want to see like let's talk about hosting real quick. Like who's gonna like, when
Hmm.
I say hosting, like who's hosting the show? Um,
Right.
one Ukrainian, one British person. I would like to see on the stage. I feel like
Hmm.
that's the best option to go with. Now,
Yeah.
I don't know who necessarily. I don't really have strong feelings about who to host. Because I know like I can't. I'm not very familiar with Ukrainian actors or Ukrainian TV people who aren't
Hmm.
basically Timor. I
Yeah.
can't think of. I just that's a blind spot for me personally.
Hmm.
As far as like British TV personalities and stuff, I would love for it to be Graham Norton. Like I just
Graham,
like to see
just
that.
one more time, Graham.
Like, yeah, have him
Old time's sake, come
host,
on.
and that's his life, and then he passes the torch on to somebody else to do the commentary every year.
Hmm.
But
Or
yeah, like
like, just put Graham in the green room, you know?
oh, that would be
Even just the green
fabulous.
room.
That would be so good. Like, because the thing is this, like, I love the Graham Norton show,
Hmm.
and like he's such a good interviewer. Like, even if I don't care
Hmm.
about who's on it that day, or that week or whatever, I'll still watch it just because he's such a good interviewer.
Hmm.
But yeah.
He
Um,
is the host of British TV.
yeah. I mean, like, there's a reason why the BBC US channel only shows, like, the only shows they show that are British are, like, Doctor Who and the Graham Norton show. Everything else is just reruns of American TV shows.
Hmm.
Let's be honest there. But yeah, like,
Yeah.
my main thing is, though, I want to, like, I would love to have the music specifically, like the postcard music, be Ukrainian. Like, if you can get someone,
That's a good idea.
like, honestly, someone who, like, kind of is good at mixing that traditional sound, like, Ukraine does really well. Mixing
Like
traditional
Anuka,
sounds.
for example, you know?
Yeah, like, yeah, she would be great. I would love to have
Yeah.
her do the
If
postcard
Anuka
music.
makes the postcard music, that's all I need.
Like,
The songs in the contest don't even have to be good. I'll live through the postcards.
but, like, Ukraine's really good at that, though. They're really good at mixing the
Hmm.
traditional and the modern into, like, a
They're one of the best countries in Europe for that.
yeah, and I would love to have that kind of thing happening with the postcard music.
Hmm.
Um, like kind of make it like I would say that's a good balance though, having one British host, one Ukrainian host, and having Ukraine kind of dictate the music for the postcards, like the interstitials and things of that nature, and like the theme music you
Yeah.
compose and stuff like that. I think that would
Hmm.
be great, and like for the like intervals and stuff, mixing together the two.
Yes.
And I just
I
really
mean, the great thing about like British culture too is it's kind of a blank slate for when you have a stronger flavor like Ukraine.
oh my gosh, don't
You know
say
what I
that.
mean?
Don't say that. You're gonna get beans and toast thrown at you. Just stop.
Ew, don't say that.
Sorry.
But I'm just saying, it's just like we have the bread and we have the jam.
You're too much. No.
Because Ukraine is the jam. Ukraine is the jam because there's more distinction there.
Oh no, let's not act like the Brits don't bring it with music though. Let's not act like that doesn't happen.
No,
They do it.
yeah, that it's not that they won't bring it. It's just that Ukraine has a more like distinct, strong flavor, and they can produce a stronger flavor within like a 15-second clip of music, or at least in my opinion. But it's okay. If you're British and you're watching this, you can fight me on that later.
Yeah. Fight him. Fight him, please. Sorry. Oh no. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's look at something else that happened this summer. Israel announced their singer.
Yes.
And they announced it early. Noah Carell. Um,
Noah Kirel.
she will be representing Israel in Eurovision. And it was like, first it was like, oh yeah, she's representing Israel. And then it was like, oh wait, no, maybe not. And then it was like, oh yeah,
Mhm.
totally I am. So that's who we're getting.
Yeah.
She's had hits. She's had some big hits in Israel. Like, I think
What are your thoughts on Noah?
I like a pop girly.
Mm-hmm.
Love to see it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm here for it. Like I'm here for it. Like, her music's good. She's
Uh-huh.
gorgeous. Like, just she's gonna give us a great visual. Watching her music
Without a
videos.
doubt. Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be. I'm hoping it's gonna be like a banger pop song because I love a banger pop song. I need that
Uh-huh.
every year.
Israel could be the country this year for that, and especially because okay, so when Noah was first announced as the artist, I went back and listened to her discography and watched her music videos. Everything is high budget.
Yeah.
Everything she had put out is worth an insane amount of money, and not to mention, she is a very solid pop girly in the Israeli music scene. I was listening to her music and her Hebrew and English music simultaneously. She definitely gets inspiration from modern popular artists. So I hear a Doja sound, I hear a Dua Lipa sound, I hear an Ariana sound, kind of just depending on the angle she's taking with how she wants the track produced. But either way, like it's never the same flavor of pop, and it's always modern. So I'm always gonna be like excited for when we get any news on what's gonna be happening with her entry or staging or anything. I have a lot of anticipation for this because there's a lot of money, it looks like, being put into her participation.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like, she's gonna.
Mm-hmm.
I have no doubt that it's gonna look expensive, and the song's gonna sound expensive and sound good. And like, I'm
Yeah.
here for that, and I want to see that happen. Um,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I'm excited. I think
I
that.
hope it has Hebrew.
Oh, how good would like a Hebrew? You know what? My TikTok algorithm is once again bizarre. I don't know if anyone else uses TikTok. Right now, my TikTok algorithm is all Miami Boys Choir, which is like a Jewish boys choir from, like, I don't know where they're based, but all the kids, all the soloists are from like New York City. And like, when I got on TikTok the last 2 days, it's just been that. Every video is that. So like, I'm here for like a pop banger in Hebrew, apparently, because TikTok told me I need to be here for that.
I mean, every couple years, there's just that one Hebrew pop banger
Mhm.
that just like comes out and decides that it's going to be the party anthem. I mean, Golden Boy in 2015 with like
Golden
it
Boy.
in Vienna. Golden Boy was the Hebrew like throw your ass down jam, you know?
Well, I mean, it was in English.
That is, oh, you're right. That was in English. I don't know. It's like the sound is so Hebrew. I felt like I heard Hebrew.
It sounds very much of the part of the world it's from, I think is what you're going for.
Hmm.
Which I could be down
Yeah.
for that too. Something that sounds distinctly Israeli. Like, it's distinctly Israeli pop. I would love that
Hmm.
because I like it at Eurovision when a song sounds like where it's from.
Uh-huh. And I don't count the song from Michael Ben David just because you include.
Um, Toy sounds like where
Scratch
it's
that.
from. Um,
Toy sounds like where it's from, and I am was trying to sound like toy.
yeah, I just honestly, I just yeah no.
Good job, Israel. You like
Yeah.
took care of the most challenging part of this. Now just put it together.
Yeah. And I honestly wonder why they went internal this time. I mean, and that's
Yeah,
the thing is,
that's
I'm
a good
always
thing.
with broadcasters switching up how you do your selection. You know,
Hmm.
what was it? They were doing the X Factor for a couple of years. It didn't work out. Go back to doing internal selections. Okay, so
That could be great.
we've talked about selected artist. Let's go ahead and move
Hmm.
on. Well, we got about 15 minutes left here.
Hmm.
Junior
Oh yeah, that's our junior stuff. Yeah.
Junior is coming. So far, we only have one confirmed song, and that is from Ukraine. They had their national selection last Sunday. Zlata Dzinka won with the song Nezlamna. Did you take a
Hmm.
listen to that one at all?
I did take a listen to it.
Hmm.
And she has a very unique voice. Okay, really quickly about the national selection. This was not the song that I was anticipating that they would pick necessarily because Ukraine, it feels like they're moving in like the traditional dance
Yeah.
direction, just generally. But they chose to do like a ballad that's kind of similar to what they did last year with Vajil. It's not a ton similar, but the direction, the foot's pointed in the similar direction. I like the song, but I feel like because we're still lacking all the other elements to it, I haven't quite heard it yet.
Okay, yeah, like
You
I
know?
think there is going to be a revamp coming down the pipeline for that one
Mm-hmm.
for sure. Um,
Yes.
I'm pretty sure that's what I read online. I think it's nice. Like I think it's a solid ballad. I know it came down to a tiebreak situation, and
Oh, did it?
yeah,
Wow.
it was a tiebreak situation. So that's the song that ended up winning. Um,
Mm-hmm.
when I sat and listened to all four of the songs in the final, was it four or five?
It
Whatever, it was
was
five.
whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, when I sat down and listened to all of them, it was kind of one of the ones that I had ranked in my middle section. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but like it's still solid, and I think that, and I know that Ukraine can make anything sound great and knows how to stage stuff. So, and
Uh-huh.
it's the only song we have so far, so it's kind of hard to sit there and go like, oh, how well is it gonna do? We have one song,
Mm-hmm.
y'all. So yeah.
Yeah, and the thing is with grown vision, it's a lot easier when we hear a song to be like, oh yeah, like it's gonna do like this well or that well. With junior, it's way more murky, way more murky.
Because I think in junior, honestly, countries that like you don't expect to do well. Well, let me rephrase that because junior's different, a whole different ball game than adult Eurovision.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know like there's different teams working on it.
Yeah.
So like just it's one of those ones you go into, you go, okay, well we know this is gonna probably be solid because the your pedigree and everything, background wise. But yeah, we'll see what happens. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
um,
Best of luck to you, Zlata.
yes. And then talking about national finals for junior this weekend.
Uh-huh.
Poland
I'm
and
getting into the national finals for junior this year, and
uh,
it's lit. Like,
oh man, it's great. It's so much fun.
it's so much fun.
It's so much fun. And the thing is with junior is I'm so casual with it because it's like I just like seeing talented children. Like
Yeah,
I
it's
love
super
it,
laid back.
and like I don't get passionate about anything in junior because like
Hmm.
they're all like I'm rooting for everybody at the end of the day. I just like the I just
Yeah.
that's my thing when it comes to junior. I want more people to watch it and just enjoy the music. There's no reason to be all like
Hmm.
aggressive about it. Just lay back, chill, good times.
Hmm.
But yeah, like this weekend on Saturday, so tomorrow, the Dutch national finals happening.
Yep.
They've got four different competitors, or well, four different entrants. We've got a boy
Hmm.
band with like the boy band is High Five. Then
Hmm.
there's a girl group, Infinity. There's a kind of like mixed boys and girls group, mixed up,
Hmm.
and then we have Luna, who's like solo. Did you listen to any of
The
that?
only soloist.
Honestly,
I have listened to a sizable portion of each song. I don't think the Netherlands can really go wrong. I mean, like this is every song of that I see here and have heard. So, like the Netherlands and Junior Eurovision, they usually put something like poppy, dancey, nice, favorable. Yeah,
see,
that's what I'm hearing.
when it
So,
comes to junior, for Dutch entries at junior, I usually like the groups. So if like they send a group, I love that.
mhm.
Like
Yeah.
the kisses, oh, I used to listen to kisses and dancing all the time. Like,
Kisses and dancing. Oh my gosh. 16 was one of the best years of junior
oh, that was
ever.
like my first
Ever,
junior.
ever.
That was like my
Me
first
too.
junior. I really got into the. I was like, oh, okay, okay. And ever since then, I've been like hooked. I'm like, juniors 2016 was so good, and last year was really good too. But yeah, I
The Dutch can
honestly
do groups so well.
exactly. So I like seeing and like what was the boy group they sent a couple of years ago too.
Force? Was it Force?
Yes, Force. I love that
Mhm.
song. It was so catchy.
Yeah.
Like I love a group. So like I would like to, like I'm happy to see there's three groups, and so I'm gonna have
Mhm.
fun watching that national final tomorrow. I'm not gonna lie.
Uh-huh.
And then Poland's
Oh,
national final is on Sunday. We
Monday.
don't have the
Hmm.
songs for that one. We only have the artist
Hmm.
competing. So we have Alexander Malog, Ida Warskog, Laura Bakiewicz, and then Natalia Smas. So we'll see what happens. We'll have the song next week though. Like they'll choose.
Yeah. So like in Sansa na Success, or like whatever the name of this national final is, all I'm just gonna say is if any of you viewers end up watching it, pay attention to Vicky Gabor and Alatrash's faces.
Why?
Just like as the semifinal, there were 3 semifinals.
Uh-huh.
As they were happening, you can tell which ones they like really took to immediately, and which ones that they might just need a little bit more time with. But just look at their faces, because you can get quite a bit of commentary just by seeing their like visual thoughts on how it's all going. It looks like we're gonna have an amazing like set of finalists though, because I listened to the vocals of all these finalists, and it's just like Poland has no shortage of really talented kids.
Oh my god! What is in the water in Poland? Like these children can just sing.
Seriously, like every child, pretty much.
It's like Poland. In Poland, every child can sing. In Malta, everyone can sing. I don't think you're allowed to be in Malta if you can't sing. Albania,
citizenship test.
Albania, everyone can sing. It's like, what is happening here? But yeah, then we
just one of those countries. Yeah,
we have just one more bit of Junior that happened over the summer, and that is the UK is back at Junior. I think this is the first time they'll be back since 2004. No, 2005. I'm happy to see them back. My only issue with the UK coming back is that it means Wales can't compete on their own.
You're right. And I loved Wales. Are you kidding? Colin and Kudo, that was my jam. Aaron May.
I loved hearing the Welsh language. And I think this is continuing on that trend of like, if you win Eurovision, then you're doing Junior. I don't know if the UK is going to stick through with it or not. I hope, or if you're hosting Eurovision, then you do Junior. I don't know if the UK is going to stick with it or not, but I hope they do. And I know like Iceland isn't debuting this year, but I keep hoping like Iceland's going to come to Junior too. So we'll see.
Give it time. I feel like it's a non-zero chance that they're going to be debuting pretty soon. I don't know why. I just have this feeling that we could have a little bit of faith in that regard.
Yeah, it's going to happen one day. But yeah, I'm happy to see the UK's back. They're going to do something internal. And I look forward to what their entry is going to be. I don't know.
Their last entry, was the last one, How Does It Feel?
I genuinely do not remember.
Because I liked that one. That was honestly... Okay, the UK, the last time they participated in Junior, I believe it was the last time. That was one of my favorite songs ever put in the Junior Eurovision Song Contest. How Does It Feel? I thought that was just excellent. So, girl, UK, don't stop funding these. Don't stop trying your hardest in every single one of your acts and investing in what they want to do artistically. You're doing so well right now. Keep going.
Exactly, UK. We believe in you. Like, I'm rooting for you, UK.
We truly do. I mean, like, we're super critical of you, but that's only because we know your potential.
Like, I really hope that the UK is heading back to her 90s era. Like, you know how, like, everything is cyclical and everything, like, all the trends are coming back from, like, Y2K and everything right now? Or, like, honestly, trends right now make no sense. It's, like, 70s, Y2K, 80s, 60s. This jacket I'm wearing is very 70s. Yeah.
Circle back. It's a roundabout. You love that, UK.
My heyday. The 90s were before the Depression kicked in, so they were my heyday. Let's bring them back. Yeah. So that was this week's stream. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank
you guys for watching.
Yeah. Go ahead and check out our website, EurovisionFam.com. In the description box, I also have a link to the article we talked about with Latin America's Song Contest coming out, written by our teammate Augusto. Go ahead and give that a read. Like I said, check out our site. We're pretty cool. We're all made up of Eurovision fans who are from countries that don't participate in the contest. And other than that, if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe. If you like it, leave us some comments.
Follow us on socials.
Yes, leave us some comments down below as well. I'm usually in the comment section reading and talking about things. And
we missed you guys. Thank you so much for coming back.
And we were not late today.
And the season is here. The new season of Eurovision Fam is here, you guys.
Yeah.
I hope you're as excited as I am.
I know. I'm so ready for this. So thank you all so much again. And
Thank you guys.
yeah, bye.
Bye.